Sometimes when you say things, a lot of people might quote you out of context. And so today I am about to discuss 5 statements that don't mean what you think they mean. Now, if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, do so right now. This is Prosper Whitestone, aka Mr. White. Remember, they won't teach you this in school. Circumstances beyond my control. These are statements you hear almost every time, especially when you work in a corporate settings, in a formal settings. Now, when you hear this statement, you think actually that circumstances beyond my control actually means that, I wanted to do this thing, but then there were unforeseen circumstances that happened that prevented me from doing what I want to do. Take a second and look at this video I'm about to show you. Now, this video you just watched is actually what you think circumstances beyond my control mean. Meaning that there is a super being somewhere that is influencing an action that was unable to make you perform a particular task. But you see, it's not really that true, because that is what you think circumstances beyond my control actually mean. What circumstances beyond my control actually mean is, I don't want you to hear the reason. Simple. For now, just understand that I couldn't do it, or I did it because of circumstances beyond my control. Now, when somebody tells you circumstances beyond my control, what that person is actually telling you is what the circumstances are is not for your consumption. So when next you hear, it was circumstances beyond my control, please don't bother to push it. Just let the person be, because he is actually letting you know that he doesn't want to talk about it. Don't push it. What those circumstances are for its personal consumption. It's a long story. You hear this almost every time, especially when you are from this part of Africa where I come from, Nigeria. In fact, when we want to give excuse for something, we begin by "is a long story." Now, when you hear "is a long story," what you actually think is a long story mean is that, oh, okay, he's about to tell me a story, and then this story is very long. So you pull back a chair and then you sit down and you're like, okay, I want to hear those stories. No, that's not what "is a long story" mean. That's not what that statement actually mean. For long you've been thinking, okay, that is it, he wants to give excuse. Now I want to hear your excuse. I want to hear your silly excuse. You say it's long, okay, do fast, make it short, I want to hear it. But what "is a long story" actually mean is this: I don't like telling this story. It makes me feel bad. So most times when you hear this statement "is a long story," it's actually not really good stories. "Is a long stories" are actually mostly sad stories, and then the person who tells you "is a long story" doesn't actually like telling these stories because they're sad stories, sad memories. Most long stories are actually very short stories, so don't just push it. When you hear "is a long story," it means 2 things. Now, it means that the stories are actually very short, and then sometimes it also means that they are very sad stories. So when you hear this statement, don't push it. Just let it be. If the person want to talk about it, fine. But if you want to take your chances and then you try asking, can I hear the long story? And then, of course, I promise you that you would fail in that attempt. But then, just in case you succeed, you would most definitely hear that these stories are short, and then these stories are very sad stories. So don't push it. That's what "is a long story" actually mean. It's not long, just short, but the person doesn't want to talk about it. That's why it gives you that statement. It's a long story. No offense meant. If you work in a corporate settings, you would definitely most likely hear these statements. No offense meant. And no offense meant, this statement is basically used when a subordinate is about to talk back or address or correct a superior. And so, for the superior not to feel offended, the subordinate, the junior, has to start with this statement, no offense meant. Now, you think that no offense meant is that I don't want to insult your intelligence. That's what you think, right? But no, when you hear no offense meant, it means I am about to offend you, but let me apologize in advance. Straight up, your subordinate wants to insult you, but is just apologizing in advance so that the thing is about to say, in case you find it offensive, please forgive me in advance. I have just apologized. That's what the statement means. It also means, I know this is something that may offend you, but I have to say it anyways. That's just what it means. Now, no offense meant is actually the same with all due respect. You know, when somebody begins with all due respect, forget it. The next thing that's coming out from that person's mouth might be really, really offensive, but a person has rendered an apology before making those statements. So when next you hear with all due respect, know that respect is being taken away. And when next you hear no offense meant, just know that offense is about to be given, but the person that doesn't want you to take no offense, doesn't want you to take the offense. So that's what that statement means. All protocols duly observed. These statements, you hear these statements in political gathering, corporate settings, conferences, where you just have to address a whole lot of people before you give your speech. Now, maybe you want to address a congregation or an audience or a gathering, and then you begin with His Excellency Mr. President, lower His Excellency Mr. Governor, gentlemen of the press, to the lowest level, to the ordinary bench warmers. And when you come up and you want to speak, and then you begin with all protocols duly observed, you might think what that means is that, oh, I want to observe everybody, and then I want to stand on the existing protocol. But that's not what that statement means. What the statement means is, there are too many of you here, and I will just not waste my time mentioning you all. Why do you even want to be mentioned? Just listen to what I have to say. That's just what the statement means. It means that there are too many of you here. I can't just waste my time mentioning all of your names and portfolios before I have to say what I have to say. What if I forgot what I'm about to say while mentioning your personalities here? So spare me that time. I know you want to be mentioned, but I don't have that time to mention all of your names, so I have to skip it. That's just what all protocols duly observed means. It's not a sign of respect, actually. It means that, why do you even want to be mentioned? Just shut up and listen to what I have to say before I miss my point. Yeah, now you get it. Just pray about it. Now, if you are a religious fanatic and you are a Christian, you would definitely, most likely, hear these statements always. Now, when you hear this statement, what you think is that, oh, the person who told you about this is actually a caring, nice Christian that wants you to pray about it, and maybe a solution will come. Yeah, that's what you think, right? But that's not what that statement means. This statement means, I am sorry, I can't help you. Try God. So when you hear, just pray about it, what the person is actually telling you is that, hey, come on, man, I can't help you, bro. I can help you. Try God. Don't go around thinking that this person actually means well for you when you say, pray about it. Or, I will help you pray about it. Come on. I came to meet you, and then I came with a problem. I came with a challenge in which I was expecting I could get a solution from you. You asking me to go pray about it. Don't I know I was supposed to pray about it? But I came to you because I thought you had a solution to my predicament, and then you're asking me to go pray about it. So when next you hear this statement, pray about it, come on, don't be an idiot. What it actually means is, I can help you. So instead of the person telling you bluntly that I can't help you, he hides this statement into this phrase, pray about it. That's just it. I know these are not just the only statements that has misinterpretations over the years. Now, if you think there are other statements that has misinterpretations over the years and you really want to share, you can drop them on the comment box and then let's discuss about it. Thank you very much.